Okay, hello everyone. Okay, so the next program in chapter 3 is shipping charges. Okay, so the first freight shipping company charges the following rate. The weight of a package, 2 pounds or less, is $1.50. Over 2 pounds but not more than 6 pounds, $3. Over 6 pounds but not more than 10 pounds, $4. Over 10 pounds is $4.75. So write a program that asks the user to enter the weight of a package and then displays the shipping charges. Okay, so based on the weight of the package, so the first of all, the user is going to enter in the weight of a package. So based on the weights that the user enters, they're going to be charged this rate. So the user is going to enter the weight of a package, and the program is going to display how much they're paying, or how much they're paying per pound. And this is just that's all the program is asking, the shipping charges. Okay. All right. So the first thing we have to do is, so over here the question says write a program that asks the user to enter the weight of a package. Okay, so let's do that. Let's first of all ask the user to enter the weight of the package. So to do that, I'm going to call the input function, and the input function basically asks the user a question and allows the user to enter a response. So in this case, the question I want to ask is, or what I want to tell the user is, please enter the weight of the package. And anytime you use the input function, whatever the user types is going to be returned as a string. So although this question is asking the user to enter the weight of the package, the user is going to enter a number, right? If the user enters a number, instead of the input function returning that number, the way the input function works is whatever is returned, whatever the user types is returned as a string. But the thing is, we can't use strings in calculations. We can't use strings, in calculations, or in this case, we can't use the strings. That's a string the way we want. We want a number. We want the weight of the package in a number form, not as a string. But because the input function always returns a string, that's all we have. So we have to convert whatever the input function returns to a number. So although the user is going to enter a number, this input function is going to return it as a string. If we want it as a number, we need to convert that string to a number. So what I'm going to do is, now the weight is going to be in this range, right? I mean, it could be this is not necessarily a range, but it's going to be basically a weight, a number, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert whatever the user types into an integer by calling the int function here, like this, and surrounding everything that the user types into an integer. So I'm calling the int function surrounding everything that the user has typed, the whole input function and the response that the user types, into an integer. Now when I do that, I need a place to store it. So I'm going to create a variable to store what the user types. And what the user types in this case is going to be the weight of the package. So I'm going to create a variable and I'm going to call it weight. I'm just going to even use user weight of package. So user weight of package is going to store whatever the user types converted to an integer. Okay, so now I have the weight of the package here. So now I can test on this weight of the package to see what range it falls in, to know how much I charge the user. So I'm going to go ahead and create an if statement and say if, okay, since I have the value here, I can use it. Value stored in user weight package, I can use it. So if the user weight of package, right, now the first range we have is 2 pounds or less. 2 pounds or less. So that means if the user weight is less than or equal to 2, okay, 2 pounds or less. So if the user weight of package is less than or equal to 2, in that case we want to set the shipping charges to $1.50. Okay, $1.50. So I'm going to create a variable shipping charges, and I'm going to set it to $1.50. Okay. Now, what if the user weight package is not less than or equal to 2? If it's not less than or equal to 2, so I'm going to create an elif statement, elif clause, which is basically an else if in other languages. So it stands for else if. So elif in Python. So if the user weight is less than or equal to 2, then do this. Else if, okay, or elif, the user weight package. Your user weight of package. Yeah, user weight of package, yeah. Okay, now if the user weight of package is not less than or equal to 2, any number not less than or equal to 2, okay, is greater than 2, right? If it's not less than or equal to 2, then it's greater than, greater than 2, okay? Now we don't want all, the second range is over 2 pounds, but not more than 6 pounds. We know that if the number is not less than or equal to 2, then that number is over 2, is greater than 2 basically. And we don't want all the numbers greater than 2. We want all the numbers over 2 pounds, but not more than 6, right? So if this is not true, then that means that number is greater than 2. And if it's greater than 2, we don't want all the numbers greater than 2. We also want the numbers less than 7. Why? Because it says over 2 pounds, but not more than 6, including 6, but not more than 6. And any number greater than 2 and less than 7, okay, it's basically over 2 pounds, but not more than 6. Okay, we know that if the user weight of package is not less than or equal to 2, then that means it's over 2. Okay, so over 2 pounds here. And if it's less than any number less than 7, okay, but over 2 pounds, is basically over 2, okay, and all the way to 6, okay, not including 7, because less than 7. Okay, so in that case, then shipping charges is going to be equal to $3. So 3.00. Okay, so I'm going to create an elif, because what if the user weight of package is not less than or equal to 2, it's not less than 7. So what if the user weight package is not less than or equal to 2 and not less than 7? The next range we have is over 6 pounds, but not more than 10 pounds. Okay, so if the user weight of package is not less than or equal to 2 and it's not less than 7, then that means that it's 7 and above. And 7 and above is basically over 6 pounds. 7 is over 6. So if the user number of package is not less than 7, then that means it's 7 and above. 7 and above is over 6 pounds. But we don't want all the numbers 7 and above. We want the numbers 7 and above, or basically over 6 pounds, but not more than 10 pounds. Meaning we want numbers or the weight less. That means that over here that number is less than. Sorry, that means that over here we want a number less than 11. And let me explain. So if the user weight of package is not less than or equal to 2, then that means that number is greater than 2. Okay. Over here, if that number is greater than 2 and not less than 7, okay, basically if that number is not less than 7, then that means that number is 7 or above. Okay, the range they've given us here is over 6 pounds, but not more than 10. Over 6 pounds is 7 and above. But so for all so if that number is not less than 7, then it's 7 and above. But we don't want all the numbers 7 and above. Over here, if that number is not less than 7, that means it's 7 and above. Okay, but in this elif, we want the number 7 and above, but also less than 11, which is going to give us over 6 pounds, but over 6 all the way to 10, because less than 11 includes 10. Over here it says over 6 pounds, but not more than 10. Not more than 10 pounds, meaning including 10, but not more than 10. So anything 7 and above, because if that number is not less than 7, that means it's 7 and above. Anything 7 and above, but also less than 11, gives us anything over 6 pounds, okay, but not more than 10, but including 10, but not more than 10, which is basically anything less than, anything that is 7 and above, but also less than 11. Okay, so I hope it makes sense. All right, so in that case, then shipping charges is going to be equal to all right, in that case, the shipping charge is going to be equal to $4, so 4.00. Okay. All right. Now, if that number, if the user weight of package is not less than or equal to 2, if it's not less than 7, if it's not less than 11, okay, if the user weight of package is not less than 11, it's none of these. None of these are true, and it's not less than 11. Then that means that number is 11 and above. Okay, 11 or above. Okay, 11 or above. If that number is not less than 11, then it means it's 11 or above. The last range we have here is over 10 pounds. Over 10 pounds means anything over 10 pounds, meaning 11 and up. Over 10 pounds. It has to be over 10 pounds. So that means 11 and above. And over here, if the user weight of package is none of these conditions, it comes down here and it's not less than 7. Sorry, if it's not less than 11, if that number is not, if the user weight of package is not less than 11, then that means that number is 11 or above. Anything over 10 pounds is 11 or above too. So over here, we can just go ahead and just state else, and then do or basically assign 475 to the shipping charges. Because if the user weight of package is not less than or equal to 2, if it's not less than 7, if it's not less than 11, then that means that automatically that number is going to be 11 or above. Okay, if it's not less than 11, if the user weight of package is not less than 11, then that means that it's the number 11 or above. Okay, and over here, over 10 pounds, it's basically 11 or above. So you can just call the else and assign shipping charges to 475. Or you can go ahead and explicitly state the range. You can just say elif, another elif. If it's none of these conditions, user weight of package is less than or equal to 2, user weight of package is less than 7, user weight of package is less than 11. If it's none of these conditions, you can also state another condition and say elif, another condition, elif over 10 pounds. Okay. So if user weight of package, user weight of packages, right? You can basically state this, explicit. You can state this in an explicit manner, okay, by yourself. So you can say if user weight of package, okay, is let's see, since over here that number is if this is false, if user weight of package is not less than 11, meaning is 11 and above, right? So 11 or above. Basically, an else statement would do. But if you want to also be specific, you can say if user weight of package, okay, is over 10 pounds, right? If it's less than, we don't have to do this, but we can. But if you want it to be very specific on its own, a condition on its own, if it's let's see, over 10 pounds. All right, so if that number is less than 11, all right, which we've done here, it's basically the same thing. If it's less than 11, okay, and at the same time, so you can say end user weight of package. Let's see. So basically, if I do this, I'm basically duplicating it. It has to, anything over 10 pounds, we don't have to even use an end. I think I got confused there for a second. So like I said, else would work because if none of these conditions are true, then that means that number is 11 or above. Or you can also state that if that number, okay, is greater than 10. Okay, if that number is greater than 10, anything that's greater than 10 is what? Anything that's greater than 10 is 11 or above. If you're greater than 10, it starts from, I'm talking about integers here. If you're greater than 10, then you are starting from 11, anything 11 or above. So that will work. And 11 or above is over 10 pounds. So you can go ahead and explicitly state this yourself. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do. I think I was trying to repeat this, and at the same time, I was thinking about a specific range, and that's why I was doing that. A bit, specific range. That's why I started with an end, but I got confused for a second. We don't have to use an end. So two ways. If you use an else statement, if none of these conditions are true, else will automatically that number will be 11 or above, because if that number is not less than 11, then it's going to be 11 or above. Or you can go basically be very explicit and state it this way. If that user is if the user weight of package is if the user weight of package is greater than 10. Okay, if any number that's greater than 10 is 11 or above. Okay, or it's over 10 pounds. So you can do it this way too. But I'm going to stick with the else. Forget about an end. We didn't have to do that. If you are dealing with a specific range, then you try to do that, and that number has to be it has to basically fit that condition. For example, if it's let's see. I'm trying to come up with an example. It's fine. I don't have to. I don't want to confuse you anymore, or even come up with anything. Let's just stick with this. But basically, if you're dealing with a specific range, then you can go ahead and do that, and then use the end. Okay. Okay. Basically end or ors, right? Basically end or ors. If for example you're dealing with outside a range, you can use an or. If you're dealing with so basically if that number is, for example, let's say you wanted to check to make sure a number is outside a range, you can say if that number, for example, if you wanted to check to see if that number is outside, let's say 26, 27, and 28. You can see if that number is less than 26, okay, or that number is greater than 28, all right? So if that number is in any of those conditions, then that means it's outside the range. So basically that, right? But if you wanted to check to see if that number is inside a range, you can say if that number is greater than, because we're dealing with 26, 27, and 28. So if that number is greater than or equal to 26, and at the same time less than or equal to 28, then that number is in that range. So yeah, that's what I was trying to explain with the end. But again, I went way over what I was trying to do here, and it doesn't it doesn't make sense. I mean it's just trying to explain why I use end over here, but I want to go straight to go back to this and then continue with what I was doing. So yeah, I think I was talking too much. I've been talking too much over there. But yeah, if you use an else, automatically, if none of these are true, then, for example, if it gets down here and user width of package is not less than 11, then that means that number is it's either 11 or above. If it's not less than 11, then it's either 11 or above. So you can just use an else, and automatically you will know that. Or you can just use an elif and say if user width of package is greater than 10, then that means it's over 10 pounds. Okay. Yeah. So I think I was talking too much over there, but I was just trying to explain, just if I confuse anyone. Oh yeah. So I'm going to stick with the else, and sets shipping charges to equal to 475. But I don't need a semicolon here, and I don't need a colon here. Okay. I'm going to stick with an else, but like I said, if you wanted to be explicit, you can just say that else if shipping charges is greater than 10, right? And over here, if that number over here, if you're just using else and that number gets down here and it's not less than 11, then means that number is 11 or above. All right. So in that case, by the time it gets through this, we'll know basically what, how much the person is going to pay, right? So once we know how much a person is going to pay, after that we can just display how much a person is going to pay. So we're going to say that, let's see, display the shipping charges. Okay, so we're going to say for a package weighing, since we have the weight in a variable, we can just use it. So for a package weighing, okay, user weight of package. Now the thing is, user weight of package holds an integer, right? If you try to concatenate an integer to a string, the interpreter is going to, the Python interpreter is going to complain and say that you cannot, it will say that it cannot convert an integer, okay, to a string implicitly. So that means we have to go ahead and do it explicitly and convert it ourselves. We have to go ahead and convert this to a string so that we can display this. So I'm going to call this str function, which is basically going to convert the content of the variable user weight of package into a string and then concatenate it to the string. Because both of them will be strings, it wouldn't complain concatenating one string to another. So just like the int function, which converted everything the user typed here into an integer, I'm calling the str function to convert everything stored in user weight of package to a string and concatenate it to this. So for a package weighing this number, okay, maybe you can say kilograms. I don't know what unit it's in. I don't know. So I'm just going to just say kilograms. I don't know. Or you can put something. Since I don't know the unit, I'll just leave it blank. Okay, so for package weighing this, I'm going to put a comma. You'll pay. Okay, I'm going to break this. Okay, I don't want to exceed this line over here. This line is like a guideline for me not to exceed 80 characters on a line. It's like a Python standard not to exceed 80 characters on a line, and I want to stick with that. So I'm going to break this line here. Before you break any line in Python, you type the backslash and then you hit enter. I'm going to just break it by hitting enter. But before you do that, you have to type the backslash. So for package weighing this number, you pay, since we have the shipping charges in a variable, I can go ahead and use it. But again, it's going to complain that it cannot convert, in this case, a float to a string implicitly. So I'm going to go ahead and do it explicitly myself. So I'm going to, in this case, I want to format this. Okay, I want to format this value. So actually, I'm going to call the format function here. Now, the format function also returns a string. So in this case, it wouldn't complain that it cannot concatenate and add a string to the string. The format function, after it's done formatting the value you pass into it, is going to return a string. So it won't complain concatenating a string that the format function, it won't complain concatenating the string that the format function returns to the string. So the format function takes two arguments. I want to format it to a dollar value. So it takes in two arguments. What do you want to format? I want to format the shipping charges. Okay. And the second argument is, how do you want it formatted? I want it formatted. First of all, I know the shipping charges is a float, so I'm going to put an F. So I'm formatting a float. And I want it formatted to 2 decimal places. So I'm going to put the precision, which is 2 decimal places, in front of the F. So 0.2 stands for 2 decimal places. If it was 3 decimal places, I would put 0.3. I want it formatted to 2 decimal places. And I'm going to put a comma before the precision here. So a comma before the precision, which is basically going to put commas where necessary. So for example, if the shipping charges is $1,000, it's going to display 1,000. If the shipping charges was, let's say, $1 million, it will display 1,000,000,000. It will know where to put the comma automatically. So I'm putting the comma before the precision, 0.2, before the F. And I also want a $sign in front of it. So I'm going to put a $sign before even the value that's going to be returned by the format function. Again, the format function returns a string. So this, the Python interpreter wouldn't complain that it's trying to concatenate the string that the format function returns to the string. So for a package weighing this package, you will pay this amount, and basically we're done. One more thing, after we've displayed the question, I want to display an empty line. But first of all, let me run the program, and then we'll see how that works out. So I'm going to save this in where I save all the Python files. So Python programming challenges, and I'll create a folder for this one, and I'll call it shipping charges. And I'll call this also shipping charges to Pi. Okay, so let's see what happens. Okay, so please enter the weight of the package. For a weight 2 pounds or less, I'm expecting 150. So I'm going to type in 1. Okay, and hit enter. So it says for a package weighing 1. Again, I don't know the units, so maybe I should just put like 1 kg. I don't know. But if you know if you can just put the units there if you want. But for now, let's just leave it. So for a package weighing 1, okay, assuming the units is there already, or the units are there already, or the units is there already, you will pay 150. So it works. I just want to put a new line before. Once it asks the question, I want to put a new line before displaying this, so we can have something visible, visually nice. I can go ahead and just put a new line character by just putting a \n before it displays the message over here. So the \n together the \n together is a new line character. When the interpreter sees that, creates a new line. It basically takes the cursor from where it is. For example, here, it takes the cursor from where it is now here. So basically, anytime I'm done, for example, I ask the user, please enter the weight of the package. It basically takes what the user has typed and takes the cursor to the next line. Now, if the interpreter sees the \n, it's going to take the cursor to another line. So basically here, where the mouse pointer is over here, where the mouse cursor is over here, it takes it over here, and then before displaying the 4, a package weighing 1, you pay this. So you can go ahead and do that by creating a new line character. Or you can call basically the print function and passing nothing. Now, when you call the print function regularly and you're just passing a string like this, now I'm going to run this and they say passing the same 1. What happens is this prints whatever you tell it to print, and it takes the cursor to the next line and displays anything that comes after this. So that's why it displayed this string here. It took the cursor to the next line before this string was being displayed. The 4 package was being displayed. Now, if you call the print function without passing in anything, it's still going to print nothing. In this case, you are printing nothing. At first, you are printing this string. In this case, you are printing nothing, but it's still going to take the cursor to the next line. So whatever comes after this print statement is going to follow that empty line. So you're printing nothing, meaning you're printing basically a line, okay, or nothing. The cursor is still going to move to this point, and then whatever follows that print function is going to follow. So basically, by calling the print function and passing in nothing, you are creating an empty line, and the cursor is going to move to the next line before anything that comes after the print statement displays. Okay, all right. So if I run this and I type in the same one, I can see the new line over here with this message. I'm going to delete this print statement, and then over here I'm just going to put a \n. It's basically going to do the same thing. The \n is going to also move the cursor to the next line, and anything that follows the \n is going to display at where the cursor is, basically the next line. So I'm going to run this, type in 1 again, and I get the same outcome. So now let's test the values. We've tested 1. We know 1 is 2 pounds or less, so I get 150. Let me just type test 2. I still get 150 because it says 2 pounds or less. Over 2 pounds, but not more than 6. Let's try 4. 4, I'm expecting $3. So for a package weighing 4, you pay $3. Over 6 pounds, but not more than 10. Let's try 9. So for 9, I'm expecting $4. So for a package weighing 9, you pay $4. All right. And anything over 10 pounds, you're paying $4.75. It said anything over 10 pounds. Now, if I put 10 Over £6, but not more than £10, I'm paying $4. So that means not more than 10. That means including 10. If I put 10, I'm getting $4. So let me try that. So 10, and for a package weighing 10, you pay $4. All right. Now over £10, you're paying $4.75. I should add this message and say you pay this. I'm going to concatenate it to a string and say per pound, like that. Okay, so for 10, or anything over 10, which is, I'm going to type in 100, you're going to pay $4.75 per pound. So for a package weighing 100, I can put the units there. If you know, you can put it there. You pay $4.75 per pound. All right, and this is the rates per pound, and this is the weight. Okay, so yeah, this program works. I'm sorry for the too much talk over here. Actually, if it helps, then great. But if it's something that you already know or you already understand, then if it's something you understand, I'm sure maybe you skip through it. If it's something that you already knew and you skip through it, that's fine. If it helps you, great. But I always like to explain or talk just to explain stuff, and I feel good if I feel I've explained. Although sometimes I feel like it's possible that what I've explained is not enough, or yeah, I always want to make sure that I explain it, so that people understand it. All right, so thank you very much for watching this. If you have any questions, please comments down below in the comment section, and I'll do everything to respond to them. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time with the next program. All right, bye-bye.